This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the best all-in-one platform for all of your website building needs. Hey guys, it's Celestia, and making a living from art is something I've talked about extensively on this channel since pretty much the moment I started it. Because if you want to be able to devote the majority of your life to being an artist, you need to be able to, so I think it's an important topic to discuss. But in the process, I've come to learn that it's effectively impossible to discuss it in any capacity without getting one particular response over and over and over again. If you care about making money from art, you aren't a real artist, you don't really care about art, and you're making it for the wrong reasons. If I make a video talking about how and why artists are concerned about the future of their careers given the current state of the world, someone, or multiple someones more often than not, will comment, "The future of art isn't in danger, just the future of your ability to make money from it. And if you care about that, then you don't really care about art." If I make a video talking about ways to make money from your art, they'll say, "Only sellouts try to make money from art. Real artists do it just to do it out of passion alone." If I make a video talking about what types of art are the most financially viable to pursue, it'll be a cacophony of, "You shouldn't care about that, and you should only ever draw what you love, whether it's profitable or not. This is why getting paid to make art ruins it." And not all of those arguments are without merit, in fairness. I don't disagree that artists shouldn't be pressured to prioritize work that makes them money over work that they love most. And I don't disagree that the desire for profit alone shouldn't be your primary reason for making art. Money corrupts, and it would obviously be a better world in every sense if our entire lives didn't revolve around it. But that's not just the case for art. Life would be infinitely better if all of us could pursue all of our passions, no matter what field they're in, creative or not, regardless of any financial incentive or obligation. In an ideal world, we would all do what we do because it's what makes us happy, and because doing it is valuable and important to us, without the need for money dictating whether or not we can. But we don't live in an ideal world, and it does dictate that. We need to make money to live, and it's perfectly acceptable for people pursuing almost any other kind of career to take that into consideration and subsequently seek compensation for the work they do, even if it's work that they do because they love it. But not artists. No, the moment we want to get paid for what we create, we lose all creative merit and are immediately written off as money-hungry hacks who have sold out the entirety of our artistic self-respect. And I want to talk about why that's so messed up and deeply unacceptable to me, because the double standard that artists face more than almost anyone in any other field is getting to me more and more. With the state of the world being what it is right now, I can't not talk about why artists are fearing for our futures and our careers. And I've reached my limit of having all of the points that I make invalidated by the argument that real artists shouldn't care about their careers if they really love art, and therefore anyone trying to protect those careers may as well be immediately and entirely dismissed. But before I express the poorly suppressed rage that's been growing in me a little more with each and every new comment, in the form of a 20-minute rant, as usual, let me take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. Regular viewers of the channel know that they've been supporting it, and I them, for so long that we're basically married. Something comments express regularly, to the point that Duchess Celestia x Squarespace is a ship that my comments section has come to embrace with open arms almost every upload. And God forbid a video start without me gushing about them, because something must be wrong if I don't, given how often I do. It's quickly become my favorite running joke on the channel, not just because I think it's funny, but because I really do genuinely believe that they're the best website building and hosting platform out there. So I stand by the constant endorsement that prompted the jokes. I formed that opinion long before I started working with them when I made my own art portfolio site there, because they made creating it so seamless and easy that I actually had fun with it, which is why I tell any artist looking to build their own to do it there. Their portfolio options, though, however excellent they may be, are just the tip of the iceberg. They have just as many amazing templates waiting for you no matter what kind of site that you need to build. And whatever kind of site that is, it's just as easy to turn it into an online store as it is to build it, because they offer all of the tools that you could possibly need to do so. The ability to manage payments and inventory, handle shipping and fulfillment, and even boost your SEO to help you get more eyes on your site and therefore maximize the number of customers shopping with you there. And it's not just physical goods that you can sell either. It's just as easy to sell services. Consultations, editing, event management, even art commissions. Their tools make selling anything easy, with a streamlined workflow, built-in appointment scheduling, email marketing tools, and so much more. And your customers have just as many options as you do, too. They offer all of the most popular payment methods like Klarna, ACH Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and ClearPay, and even allow you the option to send individualized branded invoices to specific clients, so you can start accepting orders from all around the world with just a few clicks. Whether you're an artist in need of a portfolio, an entrepreneur building an online store, a creator setting up an interactive blog, or a small business owner making a landing page, Squarespace is the place to do it. And you can find out yourself by going to squarespace.com to get your own free trial profile today. And once you've built the perfect site that you're ready to launch, you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain by going to squarespace.com/DuchessCelestia, linked in the description. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, and please go check them out. Now it's time for the rage, because that really is what this is at this point. Genuine anger. I am really tired of artists being demonized for wanting to be paid for their work, and I need to talk about why I find it so deeply unacceptably unfair. It's a double standard that almost no other field of work faces, except maybe teachers, who are constantly told that they should just teach for the love of teaching and bettering the next generation every time they so much as vaguely imply that they'd like to be paid a living wage. They actually have it worse, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, teachers are providing an undeniably and incomparably necessary service, and literally are shaping the next generation, while artists are ultimately only providing a nice but unnecessary luxury with their work. So for teachers to face the same kind of "you don't deserve to be paid fairly" garbage is just beyond egregious. But while I could talk about the injustices that teachers face for days without stopping, because I was raised by one and I know them too well, that's not the point here. Because while yes, I do think teachers have it worse than artists when it comes to society devaluing their craft because theirs is essential and ours isn't, ours still faces this double standard even amongst other careers that are equally non-essential. Hairdressers, estheticians, florists, gardeners, athletes, coaches, instructors teaching leisure activities, actors, entertainers, all of their jobs are valuable and make life better because they exist, but they aren't essential to the continued functioning of society in the same way that those of doctors, teachers, farmers, and so on are. They're ultimately providing services that we want but don't need, in exactly the same way that artists are. But people, at least for the most part, don't go around saying that that fact means they don't still deserve to be paid for their work. You don't see people marching into a barbershop demanding a free haircut because the staff there should be doing it out of passion for their craft, not financial compensation. And they're not real hairdressers if they want to be paid. People don't walk into private gyms demanding membership and personal mentorship from a coach, because if that coach really cared about fitness, they would teach it for free. There's a general societal understanding that people working non-essential careers still deserve compensation for their work, because whether we need what they're providing or not, we want it and we can't do it ourselves. So of course we'll pay someone else to. But not artists. When it comes to artists, as far as most people are concerned, if we want to be paid for what we create, we're only in it for the money and therefore aren't real artists at all. So why? What makes this double standard for us so uniquely and inexplicably pervasive? Well, when you ask most people that question, the answer is usually that unlike all of those other trades, art's quality and legitimacy is lessened by the involvement of any financial incentive. They argue that the work artists make when motivated by money is inferior to the work that they make when motivated solely by their own inspiration, because the desire for profit influences them to make work that they think others will like enough to pay for, and therefore pushes them to sacrifice their own creativity and vision in the process. And that's not necessarily wrong. We do have to put our passion and creativity second when we're making work for others or for sale. But first of all, that doesn't make it less good. The quality of our work isn't lessened just because we have to sacrifice some creative control over it, nor because we're being paid to make it. If anything, the fact that we are being paid to make it incentivizes us to make it better, so that it's worth the client's money and good enough to earn us more work in the future. I put 10 times the amount of work into a book cover I was recently commissioned to illustrate than any of my personal work, because I really wanted my client to get their money's worth and truly love it, and because it wasn't just me I would disappoint if it turned out poorly, but also someone who trusted me with their vision and paid me to bring it to life. And number two, even if you can argue that our work is less creatively valuable if both its creation and subject matter is influenced less by our vision and more by what we think will be well received enough to make us money, which is a contentious argument in and of itself that I don't personally agree with anyway. Even then, that work isn't the only work we make. By pursuing art professionally, we are committing to making some that isn't really our own, but exists to please clients or customers more than ourselves. And maybe that work does have less creative merit, but we do so not only because we still love making it regardless, but also because doing so allows us to develop and perfect the skills required to make better art that is just for ourselves. People argue that quote-unquote real artists should just work normal day jobs and make art in their spare time if they truly love it and want to create art that's solely their own and inspired by passion alone. But what that argument fails to acknowledge is how much time that day job takes up, and how little doing it helps us better ourselves as artists. To get by and be able to afford food and rent, most of us need to be working like 30 to 40 hours a week, leaving very little time outside of our jobs for hobbies and leisure. Even if you gave up all of your other hobbies and self-care and social life and devoted all of that time solely to art, you still wouldn't have a lot of it. You wouldn't have enough of it to develop your skills quickly enough to create work with the level of quality that you're seeking. You wouldn't have enough of it to lose yourself in the creative process freely in a way that allows you to both reach your full potential and find gratification and happiness in your work. For many, the only way to truly and consistently devote yourself to art enough to truly fulfill your passion for it in a world where so much of our lives are spent working is to make art your job, so that all of that time can be spent on art, even if it's not all spent creating the art that we want. Not only do we still get to enjoy the process of making it regardless of what we're making and why, doing so enables us to spend all of the time that we need training ourselves, improving our skills, and becoming better artists. The more we work on any kind of art for any reason, the more we learn how to make that work better. So having a job where you can create art for 30 to 40 hours a week, regardless of what kind of art that is going to give you a unique opportunity to get so good at it that when you finally do have time at the end of your workday to make art for yourself, the same art that you would have tried to make after working a shift at a normal day job, you actually can do it well. You can use those skills that a normal day job would never have let you develop to make the work that you love faster, better, and so much closer to the vision that you had for it than you ever could have otherwise. The only way to commit to a craft like art enough to get good at it is to turn that craft into your primary source of income, at least if you want that to take a matter of years rather than a matter of decades. Choosing to do so isn't selling out. It doesn't cheapen your passion for art to want to make money from it, especially in a system that pathologically underpays and undervalues artists every chance it gets. It means that working in such an exploitative environment is worth being able to spend your life doing work that you sincerely love. Making art your job is a testament to how much you honestly care about it, not evidence that you care about money more. Everyone knows you could make more doing almost anything else. Greed is almost never a motivator to pursue art professionally. What is the desire to give yourself the time, space, and freedom just to make it at all, at least for a large enough portion of your day-to-day life to satisfy your passion for it. Turning art into your job is, more often than not, actually accepting making money less of a priority than you could with any other just to be able to do what you love. And that's why this baseless, hypocritical, double standard that artists face makes me so angry. It delegitimizes everything that we stand for, everything that we sacrifice just to be able to do what we do, the work we make, and how much we genuinely love it. It means that when any other professional in any other field makes a video teaching others in it how to make more money at it, they're met with support. When creators like me do about art, we're told that we're just letting capitalism infect the purity of true art and creativity, and pushing people to get into it for the wrong reasons. It means that when other people express fears for the futures of their careers, they're taken seriously. When artists do, we're told that caring about the futures of our careers at all means we aren't real artists, and nothing we have to say on the topic has any degree of legitimacy or value, and may as well be written off. You know why we have the term dream job? Because we've always understood that when you truly love something, you want to spend your whole life doing it. And the only way to do that is to make it your job, something we encourage people to pursue at every possible opportunity, because people who love their jobs do them better and are fundamentally happier, more productive people and members of society. So pursuing and having a dream job has always been viewed as a good thing, unless it's art, because then you're a greedy sellout and an insult to creativity, I guess. And I'm tired of that. Tired enough that I had to talk about it today, even if doing so probably won't ultimately change much when it comes to how people perceive professional artists. But even if no one will listen, I don't care anymore. I'm gonna say it one last time anyway. Wanting to make a living from art doesn't mean you don't love it. It doesn't cheapen it or mean that you're in it for the wrong reasons. It means you're willing to risk your own financial stability and livelihood just to be able to pursue your passion and make it into your whole life. Worrying about the future of art-based careers given the state of the world doesn't just mean you're scared of losing money. It means you're scared of losing a life that you can devote entirely to art and its creation. Devotion to art doesn't deserve to be demonized because money has to be factored into the pursuit of it in order for it to be pursued at all. We're just trying to find a way to do what matters to us most, as much, as well, and for as long as we can. And I wish more people could see that. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Special thank you as always to channel members Joseph Solomon, TC Pratt, Haruki Saluzzo, Peachy, King Good James, Art of Amethyst Fable, Extinction Animation, Andy the Hedgehog, Kai the Memer, Jazz, Abyss Reborn, Just Sayori, Stardust, and Angry Shroomish, as well as patrons Batman, Kyle Lowe, Blue Swanson, Jamisha Walker, Alangshi, Kim Yen, Crazy Asar, Gentong, Grayson Xavier, Blah Mage, DC Pratt, Finn, Celine Merriman, Eldritchia, The Stray Dog, Ulura, Greg Noble, Decagon, Jenny Chan, Catbus, Mac, Lucy Yamajiki, Selena Beebe, Pryday, Totally Shogun, Insomniac Sleep Schedule, Wing Tang Wong, Marie Greer, Potato, Jazz, Lloyd Walker, Latte Tabby, Christian Cook, Adam Sorovietz, Doriaki, Barius, and Anon, and I'll see you in the next one.